Welcome to today's video. This is a brief tutorial on what I think is a really kind of useful skill for you to learn, and that is to utilize the variable text function in Lightburn and using that with the array function here. And what this is going to enable you to do is to take a list of names that you might want to engrave on multiple items. So it could be a sports club that approaches you, or they've got a job for an engraver and they want a number of plaques engraved with their players' names, whatever details they want on there. And rather than you having to create individual items in Lightburn and then add the names and so forth to those individual items, you can do that very, very quickly in Lightburn using the array tool and variable text. So we're going to get started here, and I'm just going to draw first of all a little rectangle here, and this is going to be essentially the plaque that I want to engrave. So whatever size your plaque is, just make sure that your item here matches, your object here matches the plaque itself. Okay, so that's our plaque. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, let's say we want these plaques engraved with a first name and last name. I'm going to keep that nice and simple for this video today. So to do that, we're going to use this. This is kind of like our original item, and from this item we're going to be using the array tool, which is located here. We're going to be using that to create a number of copies, but we're going to have those copies populated with the individual names of our players. So starting off with our original item here, what I'm going to do is create a couple of text entries, and these are going to be our variable text fields. These are our variable texts here. So I'm going to do, just click in the rectangle here, and then the first thing I'm going to do is go %0. Now, what that is, it's a special code that Lightroom can use when this text entry is coded as a variable text item. And what it will do is it will allow Lightroom to reference a CSV or Excel spreadsheet file, and it's going to reference a particular position in that file and then replicate or replace that particular entry there with the data that's in that field. So %0 refers to the first column in the spreadsheet that we're going to be using, and I'm going to show you that a little later on. So %0 is our first name. I'm going to create a second text entry here, and just going to put that just below the first name, and I'm going to go %1. Now again, by saying %1, the number 1 represents the second column, which is going to have the list of our surnames, our players' surnames in the listing here. So I'm just going to line that up here. Oh, I'm not. I'm just going to zoom in a bit and just kind of match that up with that one there. So that's nice and even. Select those. There we go. So now that we've got the variable markers, variable text markers in place, what we want to make sure is that they are actually now designated as variable text. So at the moment, these are just text symbols. It's just a text version of a % sign followed by a numeral. You might have some instances where you want that. So to denote these as variable text elements, what we're going to do is in the text options section at the top here, we're going to go from normal to merge CSV. And we'll do that for both of these fields here. So these are now these are now variable text markers in our original template. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to attach our CSV file to the uh, variable text, and that's going to provide variable text with their values. So I'm just going to go into a pre-prepared names list here, and this has got 20 names randomly generated by a website that can generate random names and other data. I'll provide a link to that in the description as well. Now, once I've got that attached, you can see our start and end markers match the rows that we've got in the spreadsheet, bearing in mind that row 1 is, or the A row is 0, and then ending in 19. So it is 20 names there all together. And once we've got that together, what I can do is click on the test button, and you can see it picks up here the first name in our list. Just to show you how that's working, if I bring up the Excel spreadsheet, here we go. So just coming up here, and I'm just going to just so I can demonstrate exactly how that's kind of working. You can see we've got Kelsey Wells here, and Kelsey Wells is the first name it's picking. So that is really all we need to do. The other thing you can do, just again to show you the versatility of this process, if you wanted to include a graphic on your engraving, you can certainly do so. So perhaps if I just do a really simple graphic here, and just let's go, make it just a bit of an offset. Go, okay, oops, not that one. Just duplicate that. Let's do something like that. There we go. You know, whatever you need or want, essentially. So if I just select these, let's just make them come. Oops, select everything. Go. And that's just going to be our company graphic, or could be a sports club graphic, whatever it needs to be. I'm just putting it in there just to show you. Okay, so that's essentially the setup of our original template done. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use now the array tool, which is located here. And I'm just going to, first of all, take this outer edge, and I'm going to put that on a blue layer. And I'll show you the reason why we do that in a little while. We're going to select everything here, group it all together. Okay, and then select our array tool. So this brings up the array dialog box, and you can see there's two parts. You've got horizontal and vertical. So these are the rows and columns that we're looking for. So we've got 20 names. So we want to go 4 5s 20. So perhaps if I can go 4 columns across, and just pulling out here, you see that fits nicely. And then if we go 5 columns down, now you'll see here I've got the reverse direction here. If I have that taken off, you'll find it goes up rather than down. I like to start in the top left-hand corner here. So I'm going to just reverse that direction, and we're going to go 5 down. And you've got auto increment variable text by 1. So it's going to move each instance of the 0 and the 1 by 1 to the next row. Click OK. And if I come back here and click on our test, you can see all those names now as they should be. I'm going to click on bake, and that is now good to go. So what I would do next here is I would select everything, ungroup them, and then on our blue line layer, what I would do is I'll select everything and cut selected graphics, and I would use this to cut on a cardboard piece the template. So what I would do is on my engraving bed, I would have a layer of corkboard, and then pin to that corkboard a cardboard piece, and I would actually cut out these rectangles on the cardboard, and that then forms my template. So once that's done, what I would do is pick up the rest of the graphics and then burn those onto your plaques. So really, that's all you need to do. It's really that simple. You can have a play around with it. If you've got any comments or queries, certainly don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.